My name is Claude Sinclair, president and founder of Big Stone Records. It's an organization that started in 1993. My objective and aim is to help rid this beautiful country of Jamaica of the scourge and the violence that has been affecting our society for well over 40, going on 50 years. Big Stone Records is here to help enhance our young talent that we have embedded in this beautiful country. It is an island that is filled with so much talent, yet still we are being scrutinized by those powers that be. We intend to make a difference because in 1962, when John F. Kennedy, President of the United States, made this statement, he said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." I intend to work assiduously. I intend to work until the last breath leaves my body. I am going to make a difference in this beautiful country, Jamaica. I gave up living in the United States, a life of luxury, to come home to my country to help and make a difference. My difference is to help every young man who has a talent and those who don't even have a talent to realize the significance of self-confidence as taught by the Honorable Marcus Garvey. He says, if you lack confidence, you're twice defeated in the race of life. But with confidence, you have won before you even started.
For 1,000 years they've been telling us lies.
Yes, I am.
Why should we believe a thing they say now?
I know.
It's the same slave masters under the sky.
I am picnic, make we move and groove. I am children, make we move right through.
In 1995, I started Big Stone Records and Production. Big Stone Records and Production aim at that time was to help with gang violence and gang association that was really affecting the country in the 1990s. We started Big Stone Records and we started at 15 Reddit's Road. I'll never forget that day when we put an ad in the newspaper and all the young talents came out. We saw talent like Sheldon Campbell, aka Turbulence the Future. We saw talent like Greg Nesbitt. We saw talent like Warrior King. We saw talent like Mr. Gotti Gotti. We saw talent like DYCR. We saw talent like Mavada, because Mavada used to attend my talent competition back in the 1990s. Now all these great youngsters are blossoming into stars, they're international stars. Turbulence the Future is doing tremendously well with his career. We saw talent like Greg Nesbitt blossom into the giant that he has become. Boom Stepper, another favorite of mine. As a matter of fact, all these artists at that time were my favorites, and that's why I could not have concentrated on any one artist. A lot of people are saying, but Big Stone, how could you have so much great talent and you don't sign them? They're not going to be grateful to you. But to be honest with you, I don't care about money. I don't care about them giving me back anything. All they owe me, and I told them personally that every single artist that come through Big Stone Records and Productions or Big Stone Talent Exposure, once you become a star, all you have to do for me is to go back to your community from whence you came and bring one of your friends out. Start a chain reaction, and that is what Big Stone Records is all about. In 2012 saw me doing tremendous things. We invited Dr. Julius Garvey to celebrate the 125th anniversary of his father. A lot of people were saying it's an impossible task, but under the teaching of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, I knew personally nothing was impossible. Dr. Julius Garvey came into Jamaica August 16 to a tremendous welcome. We took him to places that I know personally, if he was invited by other folks, he would not have gone to those places. We took him to places like Bobo Hill, out by 9 Mile. We took him to Caperton, as St. Mary will come from. We took him to IRFM tribute to Marcus Garvey. And of course, we had our own tribute of Marcus Garvey on that year, 2012. We move on to 2013. We again invited Dr. Julius Garvey. And I also took it one step further to invite the first son of Steve Bantu Biko. Now, a lot of people must be asking the question, why did you invite Steve Bantu Biko's son, Kwaceydon Biko, to come to Jamaica? Well, after I went to the United States in 1980, I didn't even know who the Honorable Marcus Garvey was. I started studying extensively that this great man inspired Nelson Mandela, Kwame Nkrumah, Jomo Kenyatta, Patrice Lumumba, Steve Bantu Biko, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. The great Marcus Mosiah Garvey is responsible for 90% of the freedom fighters. Louis Farrakhan, Bobby Seals from the Black Panther. All of these great freedom fighters was inspired by the Right Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey.
Jah sitting is there waiting for us in Mount Zion. Jah picnic make we move and groove.
Now, this is the year 2015. I associated myself with the great movement of the Paul Bogle Foundation in bringing to reality the 150th anniversary of the Mount Bay Rebellion. Constantine Bogle is a very personal and dear friend of mine, and I gave him all of my assistance without a dime. I didn't ask for anything, just to make sure I played my role, just my little part in bringing the movements forward. Jamaica, as it stands right now, needs a paradigm shift. We need to get back to the struggles and fighting the struggles 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 20 by 20, and 1,000 by 1,000. If you look at what happened this year, October 10th, we had a magnificent time in Stony Gut, where we saw thousands of people coming out to celebrate the 150th reenactment of the Candlelight Vigil and, of course, the historical march. And it was an experience that I would never trade for millions of dollars if you offered me. I saw a 95-year-old Rastaman walking. He barely could walk, but he had to be there. I saw a woman with a baby, a 4-year-old baby on her hip, and when she was asked if she needed assistance, she said, no, I had to do this and do this for my son. I saw a crippled woman barely being able to scramble across the street, walking, giving her support. I saw a blind man being led. Ladies and gentlemen, it really touches the core of my heart to know that we as a race of people can come together if we really wanted to. But some of us stay home. I don't know what the reasons are, but some of us stay home. Some of us don't want to be counted. And I say to you, get up and be counted. If Paul Bogle didn't get up and do something, where would we be? Land reform would not be. If the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey didn't do something, where would Big Stone be? Nanny of the Maroons, Sam Sharp, George William Gordon. All the eras of our country played significant role in bringing our country forward.
Say it's a bloody, bloody war.
My affiliation with the Honorable Claude Sinclair started 20 years ago when we decided that we must pursue paramountly to right the wrongs of history, to tell the story that our ancestors did not finish. It is our duty to finish that story. I got a vision that Claude Sinclair is the Kazembe in this time. The Kazembe is he who shall lead and pronounce the transformation. We have been working and the synergy is great. We supplement each other. We have taken up to honor Marcus Mosiah Garvey by hosting a yearly tribute to Marcus Garvey's memory. It has been tremendous. And we have been working together as a great team to tell the story, our story, not their story. Claude is a very dedicated person to his mission. And as the ancestors will sometime prompt him, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, any hours of the night or morning, and he will call me and say, listen, the ancestors have just spoken to me. And we reciprocate, because I will do the same. If I get any vision from the ancestors, I will call Claude and say, listen, we must do this, we must accomplish this. And it has been working. We are now on the threshold of creating history in Jamaica, wherein the Paul Bogle trod from Stony Gut to Morant Bay had over 25,000 people on it this year. It is a landmark event. It had the blind on the walk. It had the cripple on the walk. It had the babes in the hands on the walk. And it had the elderly. One brethren, over 95 years old, said he was compelled to make the trod in honor of the Honorable Paul Bogle. This impact has been great, and in that, the great-great-grandson, Constantine Bogle, has come into the Trinity, and his vision is to light 1 million candles. As they say, without fire, there can be no remission of sins. This is quoted in the Bible. Fire is a cleansing agent, and we know fire is a purification agent. So with the lighting of 1 million candles right across the globe, Jamaica, in the Americas, on the continent, and in Asia, we shall purify the world and tell the story of the African that has been downtrodden and put at the bottom of the ladder, and we shall reclaim our rightful place. History, archaeology, paleontology, and even now the DNA sciences will tell you that the black man was here first. The first person to walk the civilized earth was the black man. And now we have affiliated ourselves with the Most High God in taking this story to the world, to right the wrongs of history, to let the world know that the black man, if there should be a superior being, is that person. We have done it before. We have built the pyramids of Egypt. We have invented medicine. The great Imhotep, the first multi-genius the world has ever seen, came out of Africa. So we have a lot of our story to tell. Black History Month is not long enough, so we'll take the year. Every day of the year, 365 days of the year, and 365 and a quarter in the leap year, we are going to tell our story. Claude has dedicated his life to telling that story, and I equally has said my life has no value without I share it with my people and to tell their story.
Seize the war, my people! For it's a bloody war, bloody, 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 bloody war, bloody war.
Coming into the celebration, I have to mention a young brother, Prophecy Isis, that did a great song in bringing to life the rebellion of 1865. Prophecy Isis recorded a song, Bloody War, which encapsulates the work of Paul Bogle, Sam Sharp, Nanny of the Maroons, and the Honorable Marcus Garvey. In getting that story out, we are hoping that it will raise the consciousness of every black individual, every African, to know that they have a mission in life, to set the record straight. Prophecy Isis has put it in music, one of the mediums that will reach into your semi-conscious being and your subconscious being to bring you that subliminal message that we are all here for a mission of liberation, a mission of redemption, a mission of emancipation.
Greetings, ja people. I greet you in the name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie, Empress Nenen, full balance. We're doing the 150th anniversary of the Morant Bay Rebellion now. So now is the time this tune needed. So I rewrite the song. I mention Paul Bogle in it because he's a freedom fighter. He fight for the people. He stand for the people. He's the man of dignity. He do something that he never even have to do or take part of. But because he feel and hear the cry of the people. I mention Nanny of the Maroon because she was a fighter too. She fight for the liberation of the people. I mention Sam Shaw because he was also a fighter. He fight for the freedom of the people. And I mention our Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, our first national hero from 1887 to 1940. And that man let I know who I am and what I stand for. So I have to show, my love and my appreciation to the icons.
Come here, we plant some food to face this war, for it's a bloody, bloody war.
I said to myself that, Claude, you have taught so many youngsters talent, how to improve on their talent, how to expound on their talent. But in you telling them, some might believe it and some has believed it. But I said to myself, if I actually do what I'm saying, then they'll believe it even more. So I contacted Fabrikated ProjeX, Mr. Wayne Benjamin, and I told him of my plans to do a music video. Now this video was launched in 2013 and it was aimed at getting the youngsters off the street. It was aimed at getting the youngsters away from guns. It was aimed at getting the youngsters to start thinking more of themselves, motivate themselves, be better human beings. With me doing that video with Fabrikated ProjeX, I was contacted by my Facebook friend, Bonnie Owens, all the way from Toronto, Canada. She told me she was a songwriter and she wanted to, meet with me and do some work together if I could find her some artists to write for. After listening to one of Bonnie Owens' songs, I said to myself, she was the right person to deal with this song because this experience that she sung about was experience that she experienced. These are things that she experienced in life. So I invited down again from Toronto and we did Bonnie Owens' song 100% to Love. It was very, very successful. Then in 2003, I met another brother. Met him again in 2015. His name is Melvin Claude Leslie, popularly known as Prophecy ISIS. He told me of his intent. He wanted me to manage his career. But at that time in 2003, there was so much talent coming at me that I could not take up the responsibility to steer this great artist in the right direction. But the Almighty said, this is the year for it. He contacted me again. He was very persistent. He said, Claude, Big Stone, this is what I want, and I want you to help me steer my career in the right direction. So I contacted, of course, Fabrikated ProjeX again, Wayne Benjamin. Told him of my plans to shoot a music video. Tell him that this music video is associated with the 150th anniversary of the Morant Bay Rebellion. Prophecy ISIS wrote the song. It was a beautiful song. We got the musicians together. We got musicians like Bongo Herman. We got musicians like guitarist Wayne Arman. We got musicians like Allah. We got great musicians making the rhythm to this great, beautiful song. We voiced the song, did the mixing, and of course the video is now out thanks to Fabrikated ProjeX. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, Prophecy ISIS is well focused, he's well centered. He has his aim high to the sky, and we know that years to come we're going to see a real big superstar coming out of Kingston, Jamaica.
Marcus Garvey fight in a spiritual war. I walk for repatriate his people. Come here, we plant some food to face this war, for it's a bloody, bloody war.
One God, one aim, one destiny was the cry of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, showing that we have a commonality of thought, a commonality in our vision, and a commonality in our actions. We must file that mandate. We must carry out that mission the time is upon us that we are so entrusted by our ancestors to tell their story. We are standing on their shoulders, so we must tell their story. Claude, Aisha Kamusa, and Prophecy Isis is telling that story. And through the medium, the electronic medium, we are hoping to send that story to the world.
Say it's a bloody, bloody war.
I migrated to the United States August 15, 1980. It was then and there that I actually found out that I was a black man. I didn't even know I was black. I know I was dark skinned, but the word black didn't mean anything to me. I started learning about my blackness, start learning about the Right Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, start learning about Malcolm X, start learning about Kwame Nkrumah and all the great freedom fighters. And all of them, like I said before, pointed me to the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Your history is very, very important. For those who didn't finish school, you can go to school, you can go back to school, you can do great things with your life. People in the age of 90s have gone back to school and have acquired college degrees, PhDs and so on. So schooling is very, very important. Get off the corner, stop rubbing out your hand middle, youngsters. Start making Jamaica more productive. Get yourself away from them gangs, because if you get yourself involved in gangs, the only thing for sure that can happen to you, either you end up dead, in prison, or we cannot find you. There's a lot of brothers out there that are missing. Our children, again, are very important. Jamaica has seen this big rave with child molestation. We have seen incest taking center stage. So we want to bury those things and start living cleanly and righteously. There are a number of people that I must say thanks to. I want to say, first of all, give thanks to the Almighty God for making me who I am, making me think in the right pathway. I want to thank my wife, Dormalee Sinclair, my daughter, Claudia Sinclair, my sons, Sean and Shane, and of course my firstborn, Claude Sinclair Jr. I want to big up my grandchildren, Shade and Cameron. Also, I want to big up the Honorable Racy Matthew, who has helped to nurture me and rounded me and making me who I am today. I want to also big up Maureen Gutsmore. Big up yourself, Maureen, because you saw what was happening. You played the pivotal, the intricate role in molding me and helping me to become who I am today. I want to give thanks to all. If I do not remember anyone, you know I big up everyone, because you all played a very important role. Jamaica is a beautiful country. I would never trade Jamaica for no place on earth. This is where I want to die. This is where I want to spend the rest of my life. And that is why I work so hard in helping to make this beautiful country the best country in the world. A big stone says so.
Jaja City is there waiting for us in Mount Zion. Jaja big name, make we move and grow. Lord of mercy, look at the jail and full of Rasta. All a little 10-year-old boy, what you really do ya? You should have done your mother yard until you're ready for go to school. Make police get you a brandish big gun and say you're Johnny Cool. Lord of mercy, look how my country I come to higher. But we just can't sit and watch you pity them burn up in a fire. No way higher, no way higher, no way higher, no way higher. Youth in a Guyana and Jamaica. Big stone appeal to each and every one of you. Remember, the census killing of your brothers and sisters won't get you nowhere. How can you shoot your neighbors that you go to school with?